Okay, welcome to Offer Temple. I'm Jess and Susie is here as well. Do you want to say hey, Susie?
Hi, loves. Jess, you'll just need to hit record as well.
Yeah,
Oh, it is recording?
we're recording.
Oh,
So welcome if you're on the replay, and we're gonna dive right in. Where feeling will be here anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes, but our intention is to keep everything really succinct and clear so that you can just like find clarity and feel into what's matching the resonance of your heart right now. So feel free to drop any questions you have into the chat because that's also going to help us fill in any blanks that we haven't included in our little presentation that we have. So let me just bring up my screen. Mhm. Okay. Oh, that's not what we want. Alrighty. Welcome to Offer Temple. So, first of all, if this is your first Offer Temple, have you been to an Offer Temple before? Yeah, you have. Okay, cool. So you know what it's about. If this is anyone's like first time at Offer Temple on the replay, this is a space that we create purely so that we can just share with you the spaces that we've created inside for the highest good. This is the company that Susie and I have founded together. So that you can get a feel into what the flavor of the different spaces are and just the details, the information, like just the stuff you actually need to know in order to make a good, healthy, aligned decision for where you want to place your time, your investment, your heart, like where you want to expand into. And we'll also be sharing a couple of things of what's going on in our personal worlds as well. So there's going to be a little bit of a mix coming through in this call. Let's go to the next screen. How do I tap? There we go. Okay, so what's coming up inside Offer Temple is we'll be speaking into happenings towards the end of this year and also towards the beginning of next year. So you can start planning because these are some big, beautiful spaces you might need to allow some planning for. We'll dive into the details and energy of each space and keep in mind, because this is Offer Temple, you get special offers that you can't have anywhere else. You can't access anywhere else. And all of the ones today are fast acting special offers. So they're available for the next 48 hours. So just keep that in mind when we're sharing everything. All right, I'm going to hand over to Susie.
all right, loves. So, just take a moment to close down your eyes. So, whether you're here live or you're on the replay, we're just going to take a moment to drop in to the body, to the heart, to your higher self. Very important in all of the spaces that Jess and I create. And just feeling into the next 6 months. So we're halfway through this year right now. Just feeling into the next 6 months and what is your desire? How do you want to move through your life in the next 6 months? And is there a vision of who you would like to become before the year closes out? And I invite you just to breathe into your heart as you feel into this. And then just asking your heart, is there anything I need to know? Anything that can support me to make this desire my reality? And maybe you received an answer in that moment from the heart space, maybe you didn't, whatever came through is perfect. But this is a question we just keep inviting you to feel into as we move through the next hour that we have together. So when you feel ready, you can open your eyes, come back into the space. And for those of you who are here live, if you want to pop in the chat what came through for you, you can absolutely pop that in the chat. Like who are you in the next 6 months? Okay. So the reason that we have decided to run off a temple right now is because all of you, I think, know that Jess and I are energy intuitives. We're always tapping into the collective energy, and then we're often also experiencing the collective energy through us as well. And what we've both been experiencing is this energy that's happening right now where we're seeing timelines shifting really quickly. So what we mean by that is like we could feel like a particular timeline is playing out for us, and then boom, we're shifted onto another timeline and our reality is changing. So this is why we're bringing through Offer Temple right now, because there may be some offerings, some ways that we can support you in these new timelines that you want to step into, or that you have just like been bumped into by God, by the universe. Jess, do you want to add anything on this?
No, I think you've said that well.
Okay,
I've
beautiful.
accidentally changed my screen. Hang on. Let me just,
There's
did you,
something.
can you still see the presentation?
No.
Okay, let me just share it again because something's just happened there. But continue while I fix this.
Yeah, while Jess is just fixing that, this has definitely been an experience that I've personally been having, like feeling kind of in this voidy space, but being very, very, very comfortable here. Just like, oh, I feel like I'm in this voidy soup, but I can feel what's coming. Like I can feel the recalibration of what's coming in my reality, and actually it feels more comfortable than how I'd usually feel in a void space. So I'm just sharing that in case anyone else is also having that experience right now of like, oh, I just feel something's coming, but I don't know what it is. And we've got in the chat, Kelly said, radiating from calibrating deep in my innermost union of my multidimensional self. Amazing. Kelly is one of our Matrix to Mystic alumni babes. And Kushi, being the best version of myself in my highest timeline of the most divine frequency of pure light and unconditional love. Beautiful. Holding that with you, Kushi.
I love you guys. Okay, can we see the screen better now? Okay, great. Because I can't actually see any of you now. I've lost everyone, but I'm looking at the screen. So I'll just imagine you all in front of me. Okay, so now that you're tapped into this space, we wanted you to feel that within yourself because there's going to be a certain resonance that comes through, even if you don't know what, you know, the tangible outcome of the next 6 months might be for you. There will at least be a flavor of something within your body now, an energetic signature that you can grasp a little bit so that as we move through Offer Temple, you'll know what it's matching with. It might be one place, it might be multiple places, but it's going to help you find that clarity and know what is aligned for you. So there's three main spaces that we'll be speaking into under our For the Highest Good umbrella. And these are spaces that Susie and I both hold together. They're all group spaces as well. And so as we move along, if you're starting to feel actually maybe there's something I feel potentially more one-on-one, we will just share a little bit more about that at the end as well with those options. But first up is our Priestess retreat. Now, this is up number one because you can see the date. It's literally happening in a couple of weeks. Now, our priestesses who are already inside Temple on this are currently booking their flights and preparing themselves to come join. So there's actually still plenty of time for you to be able to jump in and save your little tush in circle on Priestess Retreat. You may have seen the footage from what we shared last year with Priestess Retreat. This is a space that we thought we maybe wouldn't hold again. This has turned out to be our second Priestess Retreat now because it was just so desired from you guys. We only have 2 spaces left though on the one that's coming up. And this is our last Priestess Retreat in Bali with currently no plans to have a next Priestess Retreat anywhere. So not saying that there might not be another one in the future, but there just isn't anything in the works just yet. So truly, if you're feeling a resonance with this space, it is a now or never kind of energy. I will say that. So just tune into your heart. This is the vibe of Priestess Retreat. So this is more than a wellness retreat. It's not even really a wellness retreat. It's a deeply spiritual place that you can come and connect with your ancient wisdom that sits inside you, where you can wake it up, remember it, and then also come into connection with others who are also holding that frequency within themselves. Whether it's fully online, fully remembered, deeply embodied, and you just want to come into a space where you get to sit in the lushness of that because maybe regular life doesn't allow for it so much. Or maybe you're like, I'm so interested in this priestess retreat. And you could be looking at it in a way where it's like, yeah, but that's like, it seems really nice for all those other women who are doing it. Shame I'm not a priestess. And if that's you, I just want to say there's a reason why you've felt to come to Offer Temple. And if you're even just looking and admiring and thinking, wow, that's really beautiful, I kind of wish I was one of those women there, that actually is your sign that you're being called in to that space. It might just not feel fully awake yet, but it is awakening within you. And Priestess Retreat is a place where you can come and fully dive into that and awaken it within a very supportive container. So it is both an honoring and activation of your inner priestess, wherever you sit in that journey. It's a space for ancient temple arts, ritual, and ceremony. And I'm going to share some of those ceremonies and rituals that you will dive into on Priestess Retreat. It is for the sisterhood of the rose. So if you fall under the rose lineage, you will be swept up into this space. And if that also doesn't mean anything to you just yet, that also doesn't matter. Just know if it's like feeling resonant, and that can be enough. And then whatever that sisterhood of the rose lineage thing is, like that, we will help you understand that once you get there. There's also Atlantean and Lemurian frequencies coming through, so pulling through the highest octave of those codes to reawaken them within yourself so we can move them throughout the collective, raising the collective consciousness. And obviously priestess codes, also queen codes. Now, even just the word priestess, I just want to stop and speak into that a little bit, because it's not just a pretty word. It's not just like, oh yeah, I'm in my goddess energy, and it just is something light and flirty and feminine. A priestess is someone who sits in divine connection with the holiness of what it is to be here in this universe, with the godliness of it all, with the source. She is divinely connected through her heart, through her channel, and she fully is activated in it, to a point that others come to her for healing, others come to her for her oracle, others come to her for her knowing. And not just that, but she knows how to work that divine feminine essence within her to bring through her inner sacred union, which is an element that's going to come through into our ceremonies as well. And through her mastery of knowing how to work these energetics and these more mysterious mechanisms of the universe, she's a natural healer as well. So that's what a priestess is. So many of you are already priestesses in however you're holding yourself in life. You just maybe aren't using the word yet, but maybe you are. And so you know that you are absolutely supposed to be here. And I also just want to share that there's Queen codes landing this year as well. So that Queen archetype being actually even higher than the priestess in the way she leads, and she leads through her heart space. So very similar to priestess, because it's a very full and bold and empowered embodiment to hold within yourself. But Queen, she really sits in that regal heart energy and brings that to the space, leading through her heart. So that's like the energy that runs through the retreat. And our actual ceremonies and rituals, if you're interested. We have an abundance coding ceremony with Isis. So this is bringing through soul wealth frequencies to land in your body so that you're coded and calibrated to receive abundance of all kinds into your life and through your vessel. And we also have an abundance coding ceremony with Lakshmi. So Isis is an ancient Egyptian goddess. Lakshmi is an ancient Hindu goddess. They have slightly different energetics, and they work beautifully together. So we're actually doubling down this year on the abundance. So come getting ready to like really step into your soul wealth. We also have a cacao and universal love ceremony. This is actually the ceremony where last year it really cracked everyone open to be able to receive the fullness of the following ceremonies. It was actually quite pivotal, the universal love ceremony, in preparation for everything else that was going to be received. We also have a self-marriage ceremony, and I've put here in brackets, it's an inner union ceremony. So marrying the inner feminine and the inner masculine. And you can see with our main goddesses showing up in our ceremonies, these are all very powerful divine feminine goddesses, Isis, Lakshmi, and Mary Magdalene, who all had very powerful divine masculine counterparts as well. So you will be dropping into an inner union self-marriage ceremony to activate that within yourself, and then supported by these goddesses and other ceremonies, kind of just keep on layering it on. So you'll see a flow through into your relationships, not just with yourself, but also others through that sacred work. And then we have a water blessing with Mary Magdalene. This is the beautiful ceremony that you might have seen us share on Instagram, with all the women entering the pool of petals for a water blessing. It was the most beautiful day, and it is something that we work up to in order for you to fully receive all the codes in the retreat and in this particular ceremony. And then we have my personal favorite, which is the priestess honoring circle. This one, by the time we've been in retreat, This is where you will really feel yourself dropping into the ancient temple art of honoring the priestess within yourself and others. This is the most similar to what you would have experienced in your past lives when you sat in temple with your fellow priestesses, and we're bringing it through into this particular circle. And I can't really even explain just how special it is, but once you get there and feel it, there's a reason why it's my personal favorite. So here's just some photos of our last retreat from last year, just so you can get a vibe. There is lots of fun and play. This is us being silly by the pool. Deep healing comes through. Beautiful ceremony, so sacred. And our temple itself is actually a boutique hotel that we code and fully protect, energetically protect the space so no one else comes in or out. It creates a super high 5D vibration throughout the entire place. You feel it lift and lift and lift, rise and rise, more and more high vibration as the week goes through. So you can see a little bit of a taste of how beautiful the space is that we will be connecting in. So there's 2 rooms left. So we have the Mother Mary room. That's actually one of my favorite rooms. And then we also have the Kuan Yin suite, which is quite lovely because there's almost like a little private lounge in that one. So you can come into Priestess Retreat, one of these rooms, at 5555 USD. Or on either of these, if you were happy to share a bed with a soul sister, because we can't split the beds, but if you wanted to share a bed, then you can come in at 3550 per person in a room. The Priestess Retreat offer is if you're really feeling one of these rooms, and hopefully we can get you into the room that you want to be in. But if you secure your room in the next 48 hours with a $500 USD deposit, what you'll receive is a 45-minute quantum healing with your choice of Susie or myself, whoever you're feeling more drawn to, post-retreat. So this is going to help with some integration when you get home, because there is a lot of high vibrational energy to integrate from this retreat. And what will probably become known on retreat is that who is supposed to hold you in that healing as well. There'll probably be one of us who is actually destined to hold that space for you. So that is our fast acting bonus. Once the 48 hours is up on this, yeah, that quantum healing goes away. And just a reminder that we are in retreat in a couple of weeks. So that painful payment will then have to follow prior to retreat commencing. So we've given you a lot of information on Priestess Retreat because it's our most upfront space for you to jump into. And you probably need to know quite a bit in order to make a decision that feels good at the last minute. But if you have any questions, now's a beautiful time to just drop them into the chat and let us know. And Susie, I can't see anyone, so let me know if there's anything that you want to add as well.
Mm, oh, there's nothing I want to add. Just I hope that I'm just transmitting the energy of what it feels like to be on Priestess Retreat. I can just hearing you speak about it, Jess, I could just feel my heart expanding of what this experience is going to be for the women who are already coming and those who choose to step into these final 2 places. This really is like a once in a lifetime experience. Actually, it's not because one of the women last year is like, I'm coming back every single year. I need this every single year. Because she had such a profound experience with abundance actually in her business from coming to Priestess Retreat. And she said, actually, I need to come every year to receive the coding that I experienced on this retreat. So, yeah, if you have any questions about this and you're not here live, just drop me and Jess. Probably the easiest thing is to actually just drop us a DM on Instagram because we will be there 2 weeks today. Like 2 weeks today, we will already be in temple. So that's all I wanted to add.
Hmm. Yeah, beautiful. And Priestess Retreat does have its own Instagram channel as well. So if you wanted to search for Priestess Retreats on Instagram, you'll find us where you'll see a lot of the footage from last year because we capture a lot of memories. And you can see some of the ceremonies. We didn't record everything because something that we do on Priestess Retreat is just check in and make sure where it is actually appropriate to capture memories of certain ceremonies, and some we've kept completely sacred. So you actually won't see everything that you get to experience through that Instagram account, but you will get a feeling for a lot of it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there is a highlight reel. There's just one highlight reel on Princess Retreats account, so you can like drop into that and just feel the energetics if that's something that you just want to tap into as well before you make a final decision.
Yeah, beautiful. And with that, we'll move on to our next space. And I'm going to hand over to Susie.
Okay, loves. So our next space we're going to speak into is Matrix to Mystic, which is our Mystic mentorship offering. So there's a few reasons why this was birthed, and I just want to give you a little bit of a backstory on Matrix to Mystic. So a lot of people ask me, how did you become an energy healer? How did you become a quantum healer? How did you learn to work with all these different energies, goddesses, galactics, and like everything that I do in my work? And I always tell them, I went through a mentorship program called Matrix Domestic with Jessica Renee Rose. That's how I started my journey. So Jess was my first ever spiritual mentor who I entered into like a sacred container with. I entered that really not knowing what I was doing. I didn't know how I was working with energy. I had a lot of resistance around working with energy. I had resistance around working with clients. And I could feel that my life was shifting in various ways in terms of like how I saw the world through like a new lens. But I didn't have anybody around me that was like seeing that same, I guess, seeing the world from that lens. So I entered this program in 2022, and it literally changed the trajectory of my life and who I am and what I do. Um, Gave me the confidence to step into my healing work, gave me the confidence just to move through the world as a mystic, and so much more. So this program is very close to my heart because I have moved through it myself and been initiated through it myself 3 years ago. So Jess and I, through all of the work that we've done, all of the collaborations we've done, and the way that Jess and I work with energy is actually quite similar, very similar, in fact. So last year we decided, why don't we come together? Actually, it was the year before last. Why don't we come together and create a joint offering? And it just felt right for it to be Matrix to Mystic, but a new iteration with new energy, new modules, and new space holders, with the two of us coming together. So Matrix to Mystic is a mystic mentorship for the emerging light worker on the threshold of her new chapter. So this is a 12-week online mentorship with an in-person experience. Okay. So over 12 weeks, there will be like the whole 12 weeks will be full of psychic development tools. So if you're wanting to like fine tune your intuition and become more psychic, this is like an intention that we hold within this space to really help you to open more of your channels, more of your clair senses, become more attuned to energy, more sensitive to energy, and yeah, just turn up the dial on your psychic skills. Deep mystic teachings, esoteric teachings, energy work. Yeah, just that kind of goes into the psychic development, but mystic teachings come through. obviously throughout the whole container. Really exploring the multidimensionality of yourself, who you are as a soul. We all come to this planet as a multidimensional soul operating across many timelines, many realities. So, really helping you bring that multidimensionality into this present moment and this present life. One of our favorite things within this program for us as mentors, but also everyone that's moved through the program, is the energy play. So we are constantly dropping you into energy play practices so that you can actually have that embodied experience of working with energy rather than us, just teaching you with our words. It's like, okay, let's drop into the energy play. So there's lots of energy play and then feedback from us. So you're constantly learning throughout these 12 weeks. And then at towards the end of the 3 months, we have an in-person experience where you come and you get to practice in person on the other mystics within the group. And then, yeah, grounded practice that comes through on the retreat, just like lots and lots and lots of practice on retreat in a really safe, high vibrational setting. Mama Earth in Bali is very, very supportive for that retreat as well, like helping with the shifting and moving of energy. And then finally, throughout these 3 months, you have mentorship and support from 2 mentors. So quite different to a lot of other containers. You have 2 mentors who have similar gifts, but also different gifts that come through, and can really support you in like the most cushioned way possible. So that's the energy, that's the vibe of Matrix to Mystic, really helping you to step into your full mystic self.
Would you like me to go through the modules?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there's 12 weeks of us together. There's 10 modules within that time. So we begin our first week with opening ceremony. This is getting to know everyone because it's a group mentorship and you'll start to develop relationships with everyone. And the relationships that were built by the end of our last round of Matrix to Mystic have been so amazing to watch come to life. And Kelly's going to know because she was part of that round. So that this is our opening portal for the whole space. Then we drop into teachings around intuition and truth. So truth signature and how important that is to be able to feel it, tune into it, and the role that it plays within our intuition, our intuitive guidance system, and therefore our work as healers and how we move through the world as mystics. Module 3, we have energy and soul. So this is starting to tune into different energetic layers of the body, right? From the physical layer of the human body and then expanding out. So we start to feel into auric spaces, we start to feel into higher self and soul and what the difference is between those. And then we start expanding even further out beyond ourselves in module 4, which is accessing realms. So now we're starting to expand out what it is to access different realms. So we've got 3D, we've got 4D, 5D, and how do each of these resonate and feel within your channeling system? And on that, I'll pause there just to say, yes, this is a psychic development program and you'll learn energy healing, but one of the things that's so beautiful about this container is we share with you different ways of tuning in that typically help people find their own confidence in their gifts, in the way their channel works. So we're not teaching you one particular way to access things and how things should absolutely feel to you. Instead, we're kind of psychically doing this detective work to land on your unique channel and your unique gifts and your unique healing abilities. So definitely through modules 2, 3, and 4, you're starting to feel into what it is for you to tune into those spaces. And there's going to be times when it feels really similar to others in the group and times when it feels different. And the context that the group space provides actually helps you to understand yourself even more because there's more flavors in the group. And as a bonus, you will actually start attuning to other people in the group as well. So it won't just be me and Susie that are helping to activate and attune you to certain types of gifts that might not have been online yet. There's also going to be incredibly powerful people in the space, men and women, who are also there to help attune you, just like by osmosis. So that's kind of fun. And then we have module 5, which is Power of the Voice. This is a really important throat chakra focused module where we also open ourselves up to bring through light language if that's something that's going to move through you. Our voices are one of our most healing instruments in the body. And it's a really important place to focus on because of what sound healing is here to do for us now and into the future. And then we also have our shadowy module, which is helping us to tune into what's going on in the differences between lighter energy and darker energy. This is a super important module because if you're not aware and confident in what it is to touch into some of those spaces as a mystic, you'll be in fear around it. And so we bring you into that energy in such a safe container, and this is actually probably where you feel so much more of your own light, because we start touching into the dual nature of the universe and you see what your light is here to do and the part it is here to play, but you find your confidence in it. We also have our shamanic soul work module. Now, this is where we teach you a really cool technique that you'll play with a lot on retreat if you decide to join us on the retreat. And this is something that was passed down to me from my mentor. I passed it to Susie. Everyone who comes learns this technique. And a lot of people find that it's really helpful for them to kickstart their energy healing practices, especially when it relates to holding other people and holding other people in healing from a distance. So, how to do distance healing. Before we get to the bonus experience, you'll see it says 10 modules, and there's actually only up to number 9 here. We have slipped in an extra one before we go to Bali, which is just a full deep dive, ask us anything Q&A style module where we can just catch up with some of the other modules that have come prior. And then we drop into our retreat. So 5 nights and 6 days in Balinese jungle by a sacred healing river. It is so beautiful there. Once we held this first retreat, we were like, there's no way we can run Matrix to Mystic without this actually being part of it. Originally, when we held last year's retreat, we kind of thought, let's do this retreat as a bonus for anyone who comes in. We were able to make it work that year, and we were like, and then probably it's just going to be an online program from there. But once we got to the retreat and we moved through it and we put all of this into practice in real time, and all of these connections from within the group started to bond, we just realized these two experiences can't be split. And it just amplifies everything you've already moved through in the online space leading up, and it integrates it into your body in the most powerful way that it actually goes to show where the advantage is in healing spaces of distance, shore, energy knows no bounds, time or space, but then also we're humans and we're here for the human experience, and where it's appropriate to bring that healing into the actual physical here and now, one-to-one, locking eyes, holding each other, touching each other. So you'll really find through the balance of these two experiences where you're feeling drawn to, like, are you more like the online kind of digital nomad healer or something? If you want to apply this to your work in a bigger way? Or are you someone who really needs to be in space with people? It is going to provide some context for you there as well. Then we all head home and we drop into our last module, which is full embodiment. So further integration, further having it all land, some ceremony and coding in this module. And then we have our beautiful closing ceremony, bringing it all together. And that's where we're all like, well, we don't want this to end, but it does. So Matrix to Mystic. Oh, I've put my slide the wrong way around. I'll go here. So we have our online program beginning March 2026. Now, we're giving you so much notice on this because we're limiting it to 15 spaces this year. And we know that you'd probably love a nice payment plan if you can make that work in the lead up. So know that we start online March 2026, and the Bali immersion, this is optional. You don't have to come, but it is included in your investment into the space. So you might as well come along. And if you want to put that in your calendar now so you can start manifesting it, that's going to be on the 22nd to the 27th of May. We'll all be in Bali together. Now, if you really, really, really can't make it to that Bali immersion, there will be a replacement online experience that you'll receive to have your own online retreat with me and Susie. But you're going to want to be at this Bali immersion. So now, pricing. We'll give you the actual price. I haven't actually put it into our slides. I accidentally missed it, so I'm going to say it out loud. But let me read this to you first. So to secure your space in the next 48 hours, you put down a 333 Aussie dollar deposit. So nice and easy. And once that space is secured, you'll receive a 5-day private Voxer mentorship with myself and Susie, valued at 3,000 Aussie. We actually don't offer that outside of this offer. So it's actually the only way to get it as well. It's not something we offer, and it's not something you can buy. To have a private Voxer mentorship with us on top of Matrix to Mystic. Susie, do you want to go through the actual pricing of Matrix to Mystic?
Sure. So let me just pull it up just so I've got this correct. Okay, loves. So there are two options. I've lost the... No, I can't see your faces. Where are you? There. Okay, so there are two options. If you choose to pay in full, it's 8888 Aussie dollars. And if you pay in full, you do actually get another bonus, which is an opening ceremony with Jess, which is a private call, and a closing ceremony with me, which is also a private call. So if you choose to opt to pay in full, you get the bonuses here. You get the 5-day private Voxel mentorship, but you also get 2 private calls with myself and Jess. So that's the pay in full option, 8888 Aussie. But if you pay the 333 the 333 Aussie today, then that will come off the 888A. Okay, so that's pay in full. Or you can pay the 333 Aussie deposit in the next 48 hours, and then it's a 9-month payment plan for 1018. Is that correct? Yes, 1018 Aussie a month, okay, for 9 months. And if you do that in the next 48 hours, you get this bonus experience, 5 days of private Voxer. And this will actually be happening in the next few months. Jess and I just need to decide the week that we're going to be doing that. So if you're feeling you're meant to be working with myself and Jess, and you're like, I actually just want to like get in there now and receive some mentorship around some specific things in your life, and, energy work, mysticism, then this is your opportunity to come into an experience that Jess and I don't offer ever outside of this space within the next few months. So just wanted to add that as well. That will be happening soon.
Yeah, the 5-day private Voxer mentorship is what's happening soon.
Yeah.
And
Um,
also, that just means, because I'm like hearing this out loud as well myself, and I'm like, we make good offers. Because that means if you're coming in at 8888, pay in full, um, and you come in the next 48 hours, you're actually receiving like 5 grand worth of extra bonuses. Just so you know, to receive those 2 private calls with Susie and I, that's valued at a couple of grand there. So that pay in full is a really, really good option if you're able to get your deposit down, and then we'll sort you out in the next 48 hours and you can get like 5 grand worth of bonuses just for doing that.
yeah, and one thing else just to add to this is once you've placed down your deposit, in the next 48 hours, it will be 5 day, you'll have a 5 day window to either pay in full or to pay that first initial payment plan payment. So just letting you know that as well. Like you kind of have a week window here.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go back here. This is actually us on retreat, just having a cheeky little splash in the river, in our beautiful healing river. If you have any questions around this container, now's a beautiful time to drop them into the chat if they're not there already. I can't actually see the chat, so Susie will have to read it out. But yeah, let us know if there's anything that you feel like we haven't answered that you would love to know about so you can make a really grounded decision for yourself.
And we actually have one of our alumni here on the call. So Kelly, if there's anything you feel you want to drop in the chat about Matrix to Mystic, anyone who's like feeling into it and they're like, I'd love to know from like someone who's gone through this program before. If you want to drop anything in the chat, you're so welcome to.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna a question. We didn't get given this question, but it has been asked of us before that if someone's come to Matrix to Mystic before, can they roll through the program again? And the answer is yes. And this actually goes for priestess retreat. Like how we said, we've got a returning priestess retreat this year. And something to be so aware of in actually all of our spaces is there's always people choosing to come in and then complete and then come back in again. Just depending on what the movement in your life is doing and what the energetics of your life are doing at the time. So our spaces are kind of fluid in that way. There's returning faces, returning energies, but there's always new ones as well. And because of how we work so energetically in all of our spaces, this actually contributes to the medicine that's there at the time, the teachings that come through, the codes that land. So, Matrix to Mystic, kind of like Priestess Retreat, has evolved. Matrix to Mystic will likely be an evolution and another new flavor next year because you weren't there last year. How could it be, what it's going to be next year when you are there? So, you contribute even to the energy and mix it up as well. So, yes, you can return, and then the flavor will be similar but different.
Okay, loves. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop the link for the deposit for Matrix to Mystic just in the chat. So those of you who are here live will see that in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, we'll have the chat in there as well. So you should be able to see that. And it will obviously be in the email that we send out after as well.
Beautiful.
All right. So we just like close out the energy of Matrix to Mystic and we'll move on to our next offer,
Okay.
which is this sexy lady with her champagne and her sparkly shoes, the best mastermind ever. So this is mine and Jess's business mentorship space for the spiritual biz baddies. So inside of the best mastermind ever, this is our business mentorship program. The energy inside of this space is heart-led leadership, quantum magic. I mean, we're both quantum quantum healers, so we do actually bring a lot of mysticism into this space, which does make it quite a unique business space. The most lit community on the internet, the women who are currently inside of this space are just so connected. They even like have created their own private WhatsApp group and they're like constantly communicating with each other. So amazing, amazing community of spiritual business owners, really grounded business strategy. So Jess and I have both been running our businesses for 5+ years. So we have a lot of strategies to share with you that would come from like a super grounded, embodied place. So like, how do you actually launch an offer? How do you actually, create your website? So like some really grounded business advice, collaboration within this space, women coming together, choosing to collaborate, celebration. So celebration is such a big part of TBME. We regularly have like celebration calls, where we really just celebrate the fuck out of each other. Like what's going on in your business? Like what do you want to celebrate? What's happening in your life? And those can be business celebrations or things that happen in your life as well. So we raise a glass of champagne or a glass of kombucha to each other and just like really amplify this energy of celebration through this space. Power activations. So every single month we have a coded call, which is a transmission that comes through from either myself or Jess or both of us combined of an energy, a theme that we're going to be working with within the month. And within that call, there's often like powerful activations that come through, channeled meditations, and we also put in some bonus calls where it's appropriate to bring through energy activations as well. Higher realm guidance. So this is from your own higher self. Like we're always wanting to connect you into your own higher self so you receive your own guidance. But then Jess and I are also psychic mentors. So we're able to support with that as well, like what's coming through, what's wanting to come through from your higher self. And then a lot of mystery and play. So there's always things that like we're surprising our beautiful TBME babes with inside of the space. A good example of this is last month we had a module called Billboard Bitch. That was the theme for the month, and we ran a competition within that month called Embodiment Bingo. Like we actually played bingo within that month, and the winner of that won an epic prize of a mini photo shoot, and then anyone else who completed the bingo card had 50 roses delivered to their front door. So we just love to shower abundance onto our TBME babes and to bring like this real mystery and so much play into the space.
Mm. Something I'll add to that as well, because we always forget to say this, is within TBME, there's also a bunch of perks that you get for being in the space. And this is what makes the best mastermind ever different to some of our other spaces and mentorships. So included in that is discounted one-to-one healings. It's actually the only place that people can come through and book with me one-on-one at the moment, aside from if you're about to get like a bonus call with me. It's only mastermind babes who can book for healing sessions with me now at a one-off rate. And then you get also other special offers and things like that, certain perks that we can't talk about here because, they're perks once you're inside. But yeah, that's also an advantage of being in the space.
Oh, something I just feel to add here is one of the perks within this space is we do offer the TBMU babes discounts on some of our retreats and in-person experiences. So if you are feeling into Priestess Retreat and TBME, there's something we can do there. So just message us about that if you're feeling this call for business mentorship, but you also feel this strong desire for priestess retreat, just drop us a message about that, because there is a perk. There is a perk there. Okay, so we have a special offer for TBME, and this is only available for the next 48 hours, and then it drops out and it will never be available again. So 6 months inside of TBME. So this is our intake for the best mastermind ever, so that you actually come in and receive the transformation over time. It's really important, especially when you're in a business container, is that you have time for things to land and for the goals to become manifest. And we're really there to support you with that within TBME for your business. So 6 months inside of the best mastermind ever is 5,000 Aussie dollars, pay in full, or $850 monthly payment plan, or we have recently added in a weekly payment plan. This is actually something people have been asking for years, and we just couldn't do this through our payment processor, but now it's an option. So there is the option there, if weekly payments feel really good for you, to go on a weekly payment plan. So the full investment for the best mastermind ever is 6666. So if you come into TBME on this offer in the next 48 hours, then you would save 1,666 Aussie dollars. And the first call will be happening at the start of August. So if you come in now, the first call will happen first week of August. And what we have planned for the next 3 months, if you're a business babe and you're wanting to launch offers into the world, you want to launch new programs, your one-to-one, like, this is the absolute prime time to come into TBME, because we're going to be exploring that specific energy for 2 months. And one other thing I will add is, when you come into the best mastermind ever, you receive access to all of our archives. And right now, we're just about to hit the 1 year mark inside of TBME. So you will receive all of the previous modules, all of the previous teachings, coded calls. So literally have 12 months of content that you can just binge on, business content. So it's one of our favorite spaces. And yeah, it's just an extremely fun space to be if you're a spiritual business owner.
Mm.
Yes, have you got anything you want to add on that?
What I feel to add on the best mastermind ever, we actually have multiple calls a month, but the way we hold the energy of this space is like, we know you're a business baddie. Like, we know that you've got stuff going on, and this particular space, we want you to make it work for you, for your schedule. So you don't have to be on calls at certain times. You could catch replays. It's totally fine. You don't have to interact with every single challenge and community aspect. Make it work for you. This is so important. You get to mold this space to your dream life and vice versa. So we have regular calls on certain weeks, and then we have bonus calls, and we try to mix some of those up. So there's multiple time zones that are available. We have members, most of them across the UK and Australia. And so the time zones, we always try to make work for both. So in terms of time commitment, you get to make it work in the way that serves you the most, because although there's a lot in there, there's like so much. There's so much you receive inside the best mastermind ever, but more is not always better depending on what it is that you need in the moment. So take what you need and make it work for you. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, before we move on, does anyone have any questions about the best mastermind ever? No questions?
Yeah, no questions here.
Okay, cool. So just a brief pause before we move on. So, what you've been taken through are our spaces that Susie and I hold together. So, we've got Priestess Retreat, we've got Matrix to Mystic, and we've got the best mastermind ever. And if you've maybe been unsure about how they differ, the energetics, the flavors of what's inside, how they can serve you, how they can hold you in whatever it is that you desire or where you feel you're being drawn to and called to, hopefully you've got a little bit more of an idea now of how each of these spaces differ, but also where some of the elements overlap. And we've got quite a few women actually who've been in all these spaces, sometimes all at once. So just just know that if you're feeling called to a few, that's also totally normal because it's natural that if we're holding the space and you're drawn to work with us as your mentors, then you're probably going to feel quite drawn to each of these spaces at one point or another, but just make sure you're choosing what's aligned for you right now. And then with that said, we're just going to spend like a couple of minutes sharing with you what we have going on in our own private worlds. So this is not spaces that we're holding together. This is spaces we're holding individually. So you can feel into if either of these options are perhaps calling you. So I'm going to share first. So coming up in August, we begin 19th of August, there's a really powerful program that I'm holding called Altar Point. Now, this channeled through on a pretty firm divine directive from Source around what we touched in on at the beginning of the call around these like shifting timelines that are happening. And so altar point is a space to come together where we're working with not only the altar of our bodies, the outer altar of what, our physical altars represent, but also what it is to become an reality altering being moving through this universe. So, not just shifting your own realities, but what it is to actually move into a room and just alter the entire trajectory of what's going on in there. So, this is about like some super human stuff. And there's 13 spaces inside Altar Point. So, we're actually coming together as a group to do some really powerful work, some of which I'm not totally sure of what it's going to be just yet, because once we get into it, the energetics and the guidance is going to share with us. So there's some stuff we're actually doing not just for you, but also for the collective. And the 13 people who are coming in are meant to be a very certain 13 people. So you should feel a really firm yes or no on altar point, because this is a space that is definitely for a certain 13. So if you're like, oh, I don't really know what this is, I need more information, already it's probably not for you. If you're like, I don't even know what this is and it doesn't matter, I will still share more information if you have questions and you want to reach out, but you're probably one of those 13 and you need to be in. And so far, everyone who's jumped in has had that kind of really instant and sure response. And some of you are on the call right now. So this is Altar Point, and there are 3 spaces left to jump in at 2222 pay in full. So we will be journeying for 6 weeks together in a group space. We will also have a joint Voxer container for quite intimate, not only mentorship, but also group connection, because your magic is actually being brought to this container as well. You're a pivotal part inside this container. So yes, you'll be receiving and learning, but also there's a group element where we're all helping each other out in the space. And Spirit was very firm on this. There's a total of 5 spaces at 2222. Two of them are already taken, which means that there's 3 left. And then once those 3 spaces are gone, it's going to go up to 3333 to jump into this space. So the first 3 of you who decide to come in can save over $1,000. So once I can share a link, I'll drop a link in, or if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, I can send you that link. And this offer is actually, this is one where it's like actually going to be available past the 48 hours, but it just depends on how quickly you guys jump in. Once the spaces are gone, they're gone at that price. So if that happens in a few hours, then they're gone. So that is Alter Point. And please let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to me privately afterwards and I can speak into it a little bit more. And then over to Susie for what she's got going on.
Thanks, girl. Okay, so there are 2 offers that I felt called to bring to Offer Temple today. So the first one is a one-to-one experience with me. It's called the activation package because there's literally the energy that's moving through this container. If you want to come, if you want to have a radical shift in your reality and be activated into like your highest timeline, this is the container. So it's a 3-month private mentorship container. What I actually feel, it's going to be very bespoke depending on who steps into this, but it's going to be a mix of business and mystic mentorship. So within this mentorship container, there are 2 in-depth business mentorship calls per month, and then a quantum healing as well. You also receive, connection with me throughout the month. And what I feel strongly within this particular container is actually like a lot of astral meetups. So we'll end up doing a lot of work beyond the 3D, like beyond our physical selves here. There'll be work happening in the higher realms for the person who steps into this package. What is so unique about the activation package, and I'm not sure I'll ever do this again, is the person who comes into this gets a private retreat experience with me. So 5-night luxury experience, one-to-one. So private ceremonies, um, energy work, yoga classes, like the retreat becomes bespoke to what you desire and what I'm receiving that you need from the container, but it's just me and you for 5 days. Well, actually 6 days, 5 nights in Bali. So, luxury retreat space. Those of you who have ever been to a retreat with myself or Jess know that we like the bougie. So, a beautiful, beautiful retreat space. And yeah, this is like a very specific energy for someone who knows that I am the mentor for them. So, that's the activation package. There's no offer on that. That's just what it is. Okay. So, if you have any questions around that, message me. And then I am bringing through a retreat experience for the end of this year, which I've been desiring to do this retreat since I did my, not my previous detox, but the one before. There are every 3 months, I take myself through my own detox program. And the reason that I do this is I know how important it is to fully reset the physical body, because from resetting the physical body and detoxifying the physical body, then we have an upgrade in our energy system and our frequency. So I'm bringing through a detox retreat experience. It's going to be happening in October this year, and it's going to be quite an intimate retreat experience. So there's only going to be 5 spots for this retreat. We're going to be staying in the most beautiful luxury villa for 7 nights. So it's actually the longest retreat that I think I've ever done. I might have done one that's 7 days, but it is a longer retreat experience because of what we're going to be doing within those 7 days, detoxifying the body. It's going to be a gut cleanse, so like resetting your digestive system. So if you're someone who actually has some digestive stuff going on, the intention here is to fully reset it through this experience. Um, and then just daily treatments like massages. There'll also be included colon hydrotherapy, which is colonics. If you've never had a colonic before, your life will be changed. So my intention with this experience is for you to fully just upgrade yourself through the physical and then the impact that has on your energetic body. So if you're interested in the detox retreat, I'm going to pop a link in the chat for the waitlist. So there's already quite a few people interested in this, and I do have limited spots. So if you're interested in the detox retreat, please get your name on the waitlist, and you'll be the first to know when this space is open. And as I said, it's going to be super intimate, so only 5 spots for that. So those are my offers. If you have any questions about either of those, just drop me a DM. That's the best space to reach me.
Beautiful. If you have any questions around anything, we're going to stay on for another 5 minutes or so. But thank you so much for sitting and receiving and feeling into everything. I'm actually going to stop sharing because I want to see everyone. Okay, there we are. Literally, I just like couldn't see anyone that whole time, so I didn't even know who I was talking to. Okay. Yeah, anything that you want to bring through, Susie, before we close and complete?
The only thing I just want to bring through is actually a question that someone asked me recently on a podcast. I was being interviewed and they said, how will someone know if they want to enter into an experience with you, whether that's like, a private experience with myself or Jess or a group experience? And my answer was so simple. I was like, you will just feel it. You'll just feel it. And this is how myself and Jess have always moved through, well, not always, how we've been moving through life over the last, like, 7, 8 years is like, do I feel a yes? Yes. Okay. I do the thing. So it really is as simple as that. Like when we've been guiding you through Offer Temple and the things that we have available, it's like, do you just feel the yes? And if you do, just trust that because your higher self knows exactly what she's doing.
Mm. Yes, very true. The only link we haven't put in is for the deposit for Priestess Retreat, I think. Do we have that? That we can just like put it into the
Do we have
chat.
that?
Um,
Uh,
the
just pull
other,
that up.
while Susie's doing that, what I want to take us back to is just like right back at the top of the call when you were feeling into what your desires are and that energetic, that frequency that you desire to really be holding and living into and embodying in the next 6 months. And just tuning back into that now, feeling in if there are any of these spaces here that we've shared with you today that feel like they're in resonance to support that for you. If they feel like actually they are coming through to help you embody that even deeper and maybe bring it through much sooner than, in 6 months' time. Because if the desire's here now, it actually usually means that there's everything in front of you to help create it and make it happen. That's something I really actually believe, that we actually don't receive and feel the desire until the universe has already positioned us perfectly with everything we have within us and around us to actually have the thing. And yes, it might mean that we have to take action, or it might have to mean that we have to use our imagination or get creative or anything like that. But that is part of what you have to help make it happen. Like that is part of your inner resources to help make it happen. So that desire that you have, that feeling that you have, like a couple of you mentioned, really feeling yourself in 6 months, tuning into those higher frequencies and radiating and living into that higher octave, that's available now. Even just feeling into it in this moment, you're accessing it. So here it is. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here with us. Um, we will send all of this information out in a follow-up email. So for those watching the replay, you're going to have all the links, everything side by side to this replay while you're watching. Those who've joined on the live, you will get all of that as well. And you are more than welcome to just hit reply on those emails that we send out if you have questions, or come find us on Instagram. We will be in our DMs around this. Sometimes we're not always accessible in our DMs, but at the moment, yes, we're open on both of our private accounts and also in the For the Highest Good account and Priestess Retreat. We're just like all over the place right now. So just come find us. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And this is actually great because we haven't gone over time at all. Susie, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I think that's everything covered. Just thank you to those of you who are here live. Thanks if you've caught up on the replay and you're still watching. Yeah, we just like love having you in our world. So, yeah, so
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we can't wait to talk to you some more if you've got questions. And if we've just got to see your beautiful face today, we also appreciate that as well. So thank you, and we'll see you sometime, someplace in the next space. Okay. Bye.